3-on-3 football, 7-on-7 football, something all football fans, something all Madden fans have been longing for a while now. Could this finally be making its appearance in the Madden NFL series? We're about to talk about all of that right now. The Madden NFL series has a lot of catching up to do in terms of other sports games that are on the market, but the biggest area that they finally appear to be jumping back into with Madden 20 is a dedicated career mode where you create your own player and your own story. But with that comes a world of new possibilities. Just look at NBA 2K for example. You can bring your player online into an entire neighborhood which acts like a mini open world. You can play a game of 21 in the park, or play the ever so popular 3-on-3. You can also team up for a more competitive real life game of 5-on-5 in the Pro-Am. Now with that being said, EA Sports absolutely sees the need for this formula to make its way into Madden. Heck, we know how much they love microtransactions, and although the fans of the game do not feel the same way, they definitely see the potential return they stand to make off of investing into their own version of this for Madden. But that brings me to the main point of today's video. For years now, fans of the Madden NFL series have been asking, heck, we have been begging for a 3-on-3 and 7-on-7. It's the next logical step for the series. Obviously, they still need to keep investing into their gameplay and building out a much better franchise mode, but in terms of bringing something new and popular to the series, this is it right here. This is what so many people have been craving, and we know how well it works in other sports games. Even their own NBA franchise, NBA Live, does a good job of this. Now, outside of the regular head-to-head action, there's three main ways that people play sports games now. Franchise mode is the tried and true mode for the hardcore simulation gamer. You have the Ultimate Team card collecting mode, which is the newer hardcore style for people who like to grind and build their fantasy team. And then you have career modes where you put yourself into the game. A lot of us can't make the NBA or the NFL, but with these career modes, it gives you a fun feeling of what that could actually be like. So naturally, this is where a heavy focus for EA is going to be with Madden, and with other rumors such as face scan returning, it likely means a serious investment into building this mode out. And that is where the 3-on-3 and 7-on-7 comes into play. After you play through your story, grind your character to where he's a beast on the field, you take him online to play against other players and team up with your friends. This is what keeps a lot of gamers engaged in playing your game these days. Imagine taking the field with 2 other friends and playing against 3 other people. You can be the QB, while your 2 other buddies are wide receivers. Or maybe one of them is a running back and the other one's a wide receiver. The setting would be something that's kind of like NFL Street, and perhaps the rules would be similar as well. Think back also to Madden Arcade from last generation, an experience that was hours of fun to play. Now of course, think of a more updated version of this, where it's a little less on the arcadey side and more of a balance between simulation and arcade, where your players' ratings matter and can be shown on the field. Now I know what some people are thinking. This type of thing works with NBA games because basketball players play both sides of the ball. If you were to build a wide receiver in Madden, he wouldn't have good coverage skills when he has to play defense in the 3-on-3 type of modes. But the thing is, coverage skills don't really matter when you are the one controlling your player. You decide when and how he reacts in the open field. So as long as you have your speed, your catching, and your agility up to par, which you should, he'll still be able to perform. It's just up to your stick skills at that point. Now in terms of things like tackling, I agree that that could present a bit of a problem. If you're an offensive player, you will be prone to, have your tackles broken when you have to play defense. And vice versa, if you're a defensive player, there's a higher chance of you dropping passes on offense because your hands aren't going to be as good. So with that said, admittedly I think for this to work in Madden, there needs to be somewhat of an arcadish element to the whole thing to balance out the fact that football players aren't two-way players. The key here is the balance. The ratings you put into your guys should still matter, but there needs to be a way to make sure that you can still be successful when you're not playing your dominant position. They could even just opt to go for an all-out arcade style for this setting, and I don't think gamers would actually mind that, because this style of play isn't exactly simulation football to begin with anyway. It's just worth noting that it can't work the same exact way competitively that it does with the NBA games, because of the differences in the sport. Now I'll also say that maybe 7-on-7 could be getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but I think meeting in the middle and doing a 5-on-5 is absolutely possible. This is what Madden Arcade was, so I could definitely see this being there if the 7-on-7 might be a bit too much. At least for co-op online, it could definitely be more of a challenge with 7-on-7. But either way, I think 3-on-3 would likely be the more popular mode to play anyway, and it's what most of the gamers would definitely want to gravitate towards, so that is definitely going to be at least the first step in this process to bringing it to Madden. Now think of the different rule sets you can play. This is something we already see with the house rule events in Madden Ultimate Team. Think of 3-on-3 or 7-on-7 where instead of playing by the traditional rules, each first down is 20 yards. Or maybe you play a college overtime type of setting where both teams start at the 25 and you keep going until one team fails to score. The possibilities are honestly endless when it comes to this. And there's so many different things you can do with this type of online concept. Let's take a look at NBA Live, for example. One of the most fun features of NBA Live this year is something called court battles, where you create your own custom court, your arena, and people can come battle for your court and try to take it over. Imagine something like this in Madden Online, where you create your own custom field and stadium, but others can come battle you for it. There's so many fun elements that you can have with these type of modes, and we've seen it flourish in other games and make tons of money in the process, so it really only makes sense for Madden to start building this out as they bring back career mode, which is all but pretty much confirmed right now. And with so many gamers longing for a return of NFL Street, this is a great way to kind of bring that back. I don't think we'll ever see the big dedicated street games anymore, but for NBA fans, playing in the park kind of gives you your fix in that area. You don't need NBA Street as much because the park on 2K or NBA Live kind of serves a very similar purpose. And with Madden, I think this would be able to do the same thing. And once you build something like this out, there can easily be a way to just play a regular 7-on-7 NFL Street style with the regular NFL rosters as well. If you don't want to play against other if you don't want to play against other user-controlled teams, you can just play up against the CPU and not do the career mode style of play. Once this is built out, it really shouldn't be a problem to be able to do that. We live in a time where all these different ways to play can all exist under one title, so why not? We see it working with the NBA, so it just needs to now come over to the NFL game. You can also bring a wide variety of mini games into this type of setting as well. Think of the fan favorite from the old days that was known as rushing attack. Think of the DB and wide receiver drills. You can add all of this into this online street environment. Think of some of the real life challenges we see during Pro Bowl weekend. For the few people left who actually watch it, you can bring things like that into this and give players tons of different ways to engage with the mode and their friends. And that brings me to my next point, is the focus on finally making Madden a more co-op experience. Another big thing that has held Madden back, in my opinion, is the lack of playing with friends. Madden is mostly a single player experience. You play by yourself. They just recently added team play back into Ultimate Team, but overall the game is usually just you controlling one team going against somebody controlling the other. It's crucial to start adding these type of elements back into the franchise, where you can be on the mic with your buddies and playing in all these different fun ways, kind of scheming together, trying to make the best play happen so that you can beat the guys on the other side of the ball. This is where EA is going to eventually go with Madden. We've in fact already heard rumors from multiple people that something like this is already in the works. I just think it might be a year or two before we actually see it in the game. I think this year we will definitely see the groundwork and the beginning to a career mode for sure. There's been too much talk about it, too much hinting at it, and it pretty much seems all but confirmed at this point. But the real excitement for me is where this has the opportunity to go, and where honestly I think it will be going, because they see it working in these other games, they see the money that it brings in, and they see just how engaging it is for the fans. Because with online gaming nowadays, it's really all about retaining your players. We see it happen with all these games. When one game comes out, the other game will release like a limited time event, or they'll add something kind of new to the online environment of the game, because they want to make sure that they keep their players on the game and not running to the other game. And with these sports games and seeing just how immersive and engaging these online environments are, Madden and EA definitely wants a piece of that. And while they're doing it in NBA Live is a very small player right now in the basketball market, because they are kind of just too far behind and trying to play catch up. But with Madden dominating the football market, they can own that world and build it out there and have people having more fun than ever in Madden. So I definitely think this is something we're going to see happen soon. Like I said, we've already heard a lot of rumors of it being in the works. We kind of know that career mode seems to be coming back. So if they're going to do it right, this is where the game is going to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Let me know what you think about this. Are you interested on 3-on-3, 5-on-5, 7-on-7? Are you interested in incorporating a street style mode into the online environment that you can use your player for? Are you interested in career mode at all? Let me know below. Check out some of these other videos right here. And as always, I will see you guys next time.